So welcome to the Vegas Nerve Workshop, and there's the two of us here. There's two telepathetics. No, there's one psychic and there's one wizard here, or shaman, to help you along with the Vegas Nerve. So this is Tyson Bannigan. My nickname is the Energy Detective because I help you discover what energy is blocked or flowing through your system. And of course, the Vegas Nerve is a really important part of how to take back your personal power and stand in your truth. It's critical to you being able to show up and be, let's say, fully alive in the moment, because if it's not working, then you're going to feel out of sorts. So, and my co-host for today, and she didn't even know she was a co-host, is Laura Cool. So say hello, Laura.
Hi.
Hi. She's going to host all your questions, so feel free to type in if you have any questions or raise your hand, and we'll do a go-round. So right now, I'd like to get a sense. I'm going to unmute Eva. So Eva, what are you hoping to get out of this workshop, or what brought you to this workshop on the Vegas Nerve?
I've been interested in the vagus nerve for a long time. I had something called achalasia and working on the vagus nerve really helps with that. And ever since then, and plus I do energy work.
Yeah.
I do Reiki and some other forms of energy work, and I would like to know more about it so I can help other people with it too.
Okay.
And I do dowsing as well.
Great. Yeah. So have you taken a check on a scale of 0 to 100 and see if 100% is, that your vagus nerve is operating quickly? Have you done that? Have you checked?
No, I have not done that.
Okay, let's do that for you. Let's see what's going on. So your vagus nerve is about, let's see, I'm going to count it down. So 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. So about 84% functioning properly. So we got a little bit we can work on in this workshop. So it'd be great to get a sense of where you are now, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and see if there's a shift at the end of the workshop, okay?
Okay.
All right, so Jeff, you're up next. So what brings you to the workshop?
Well, I was just curious about learning more about the vagus nerve and how to work with it.
Right. Have you done any thinking about it before? Or,
no, I really haven't, because I really hadn't known what to do with it.
All right. Well, we're going to help you understand what it's about and how to do whatever you need to do about it. Okay. So have you dowsed on a scale of 0 to 100 about your vagus nerve?
No, I have not.
Okay. So let's just see what's going on with you. Yeah. So you should feel some real difference and shifts in this workshop, because your vagus nerve is only working at 50% of its efficiency. So that if we get it up to 100%, you should notice some real differences. So please get back to us and let us know if there's any shifts that you experience. All right, Eduardo, welcome. So Eduardo, what brings you to the workshop?
Hi, I'm Eduardo from Los Angeles. I'm recovering my health from being in a bedridden state for the last 8 years. This condition started about 10 years ago. It's undiagnosed, muscular, they don't know anything. But I've been getting stronger in the last maybe 2.5 years with doing energy medicine, muscle testing. And really, it's picked up much more in the last 3 months and the last month by doing energy work. And I muscle tested right when you were talking, and I'm picking up that my functional vagus nerve is operating at 50%.
All right, let me just check in and see how you're doing there. You're banging on the money. That's absolutely right. So, wow, just think about it. I'm getting shivers when I think about how about having it, all up to 100% at the end of the workshop. So let's put that out as an intention for you and everybody else on this workshop. So, and Laura, have you dowsed for yourself?
I have not. I'm excited.
All right. So let's see for Laura. Well, you're just about, I think everything's clear, but let me just check. So you're going to go to 85, 86, 87, 88, 88, 89, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you won't feel any major shifts, but you may get some sense of from another level, because there's multiple levels going on here. So I'm not sure if we got anybody else showing up. I think we got everybody who's in here at this point. There's 3 of us and 2 of us. I don't know where all the rest of the people are. All right, so let's begin. So we're going to do a number of different healing modalities. First of all, we're going to talk about what is the vagus nerve and why is it important. I'll do some screen sharing to get us started. And yeah, so it's just to bring you, well, I had a discussion yesterday. I've been having trouble with my back, so I was in to see the chiropractor, and I haven't seen him for the last 5 or 6 months because I'm doing structural readjustment in the gym, and I'm finding that using weight training that it's adjusting my neural skeletal framework. And as that does, it releases all the things that are misaligned in my body. And the scoliosis in my spine is starting to straighten out. And of course, that affects all my nerves. But in the last couple of weeks, my back has gone out, and I've had some pain in my lower hip, which is from my lower back. So I've been doing energy healing to seeing if I could correct it. And so I went back to my chiropractor, and he said, well, I see you're going to be doing a workshop on the vagus nerve. And I said, yeah, and I am. So he'd obviously been on my Facebook page. And he said, yeah, it's really important. That's the first thing I adjust with a patient is their neck, because that neck alignment is the most critical thing for the rest of the body. So that's where the vagus nerve is right at the top of the head, where the brainstem is coming through the atlas. So if that's jammed up in any way, shape, or form, or your neck is out of alignment, then it's going to throw your whole body out of alignment as well. And when I say out of alignment, I'm not talking just about structurally, I'm talking about all the nerves, right? So he went on to say the first thing he does with a child when it comes in, a newborn baby, is to make sure that their neck is adjusted. And he said, otherwise the baby is in total fight and flight, and they can't sleep properly, and they can't digest properly. So that's how critical this is. So from the get-go, think about it. How were you born? Were you pulled out of the womb by forceps? Because if you were, most likely your neck is misaligned, right? And then you hung me upside down and they spanked your bottom. So you had 2 traumas, one in the neck, one on the bum. The point I'm trying to make is the neck can get misadjusted quite easily by forceps delivery. So this is why it's so important. So let's take a look at where that is. I'll do a share my screen here. Oh, I don't see all those neat things I brought up. Where is all those wonderful, beautiful pictures I had? Okay, just give me a sec here, and we'll bring them up here. All right, so here's some information about the vagus nerve, and we'll start with that. So this is Wikipedia, and it's giving you some ideas. And I don't see if you could, can everybody see the screen here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just showing you over on the right-hand side of the screen, the nerve fibers that make up the vagus nerve. You can see that there really is quite a lot going on there. And you can see that it really goes to major parts of the body, right? So when that's constricted, or the bones are misaligned at the atlas, then that restricts the flow of the fluid through the vagus nerve. So what would happen as a result of that? So it says, upon leaving the medulla oblongata, which is this part of the brain here, it goes through the inferior cerebellum part, and then it extends into the jugular, so which is your neck, right? Comes down through your neck and passes through this sheath here, and then it goes into the intercardial artery. You can see that artery is very, very big, right? It's supplying a major blood vessel all the way through to your heart, to your jaw. And you can see, you know, if you have stress in your jaw, that it could be also because the nerve is constricted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you come down through the jugular vein. So there's the jugular vein. And you can see that it comes through there as well. And then down to the neck, the chest, and the abdomen. So that's sort of the path of it's going. And it says it comprises an 80 to 90% of the different nerves conveying sensory information about the state of the body's organs to the central nervous system. So the right and left vagus nerve descend from the cranial vault through the jugular all the way down through the ganglia to all the different organs. So that's part of how it works, right? See what else we can pick up from here. So the vagus nerve supplies motor, parasympathetic fibers to all the organs. So that's parasympathetic has to do with your fight or flight or your sense of well-being. And of course, that's all regulated by the hormones that flow through your body. So the vagus nerve regulates also all those hormones. It works with the pituitary gland in the center of your brain, but it is also activated through the vagus nerve, and then provides whether you're feeling at peace with yourself or you're feeling stressed. And of course, it connects directly to your heart rate, to peristalsis, which is your heartbeat, right? So it can speed up or slow down your heart rate. It can bring about sweating as well. And it can also affect your speech and on and on. So the vagus nerve in the heart, it says the parasympathetic inverteration of the heart is partially controlled by the vagus nerve. And so it affects the heart rate, right? And regulates the heart and the heartbeat. So, and then emotionally, like I was saying, it has to do with emotional stress through the parasympathetic nervous system and overcompensation for a strong sympathetic nervous system response. So the more stress you have, the more that could constrict the vagus nerve, or it could be the other way around where you're out of misalignment or the tension in your neck muscles are such that it constricts the nerve. So, you know, it can be neural muscular constriction, or it could be mechanical constriction from the misalignment of the bones. And it says research has shown that women having had complete spinal cord injury can experience orgasms through the vagus nerve. That's important information, right? And which can go from the uterus and cervix to the brain. So it also has to do with pleasure as well, right? All right, so there's a lot of technical stuff here that we don't need to go into, but there's some great diagrams here to show you how it's connected to the rest of the body. So I'm just gonna go back over here and stop sharing for a moment and go over to another one, see if we can find a better diagram for you. So yeah, so here I'm going to show you, share this screen here, and this shows you all the different ways it's connected through the adrenals and through and how the vagus nerve affects all of our emotions. So just a sec here, see if we can share the screen, find the right diagram. Where did you go? Here it is. And hopefully you can see that. Can you see that all right?
I would increase it just a
Yes,
little
we
bit.
can.
All right, great. I don't know if we can, okay, there, that might be better, right?
Yep.
So this is the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the fight or flight. And when you're in the fight or flight, it constricts the pupils. It stimulates the flow of saliva. So you could have, you know, like cold sweats. It constricts the bronchial, which is your ability to breathe, right? It can slow or speed up your heartbeat. It can stimulate the peristalsis and secretions. It can stimulate the bile release in your liver, and it can contract the bladder, so you can you can have bladder problems or not being able to be incontinent. And it also then goes into the pelvic spinal nerves, which is reason why it can affect sexual stimulation as well. So this gives you a whole idea how that one vagus nerve has this gangly connection to all the other parts of your system, right? Okay, so let's stop that share. So when also talking to the doctor, he said, you know, think of this. He says, it's right at the top of your skull is the Atlas bone. And the Atlas is named after, the god Atlas, and the Atlas is holding up the world. So when you're feeling the whole pressure of holding up the world, that's going to affect that part of your brain as well. And so it's important to think about, is your Atlas adjusted correctly? And there's a whole technique that is done by certain practitioners to release your Atlas. So for most people, I don't know what the figure is, but it's extremely hard. Hi, let me just check now. I want to just make sure I'm correct here. What percentage is the Atlas misadjusted in the skull of the population? So about 50%. So there's two little parts on side of the top bone connected to the Atlas, where it literally has locked that part in. And to adjust it, it clicks it out from those two locking points, so you have more flexibility in the neck, and it allows you to have more energy flowing through the vagus nerve. So it's really important. Some say that, if I was an alien and I wanted to restrict the evolution of humanity, one of the things I could do is just lock up their Atlas, and then all of the right adrenal glands and all of the motions of that being would be restricted. So they would not be able to feel with sensitivity. So their clairs, all of their sentient attributes would be inhibited. So, by the way, I'm not an alien and I don't do that. But the point is that if you're wanting to control people, then this area is really a critical area, because it's also called the mouth of God. So what do I mean by the mouth of God? So let's look at what the mouth of God means. So I'm just going to share the screen again. First of all, I'll find the actual thing I want to show you. Well, let's talk about the Atlas first. I talked about the Atlas bone, so let's show you where the Atlas bone is. I'll just open this up here. So this, I'm going to show you where the Atlas bone is. So this is the Atlas bone. You can see that it really is the pivotal point at which the skull balances on, and also is where the nerve's going to flow through there as well. And what I was talking about, there's two little prongs that lock this in, so that it doesn't have the flexibility that it should. So you're sort of thinking like sort of a stiff upper neck, or think of the Atlas as, the Atlas supporting all the weight of the world on his shoulders or on his neck. Okay. So here's what it looks like sideways, right? And these are the little hooks that get locked in here, so that it can't move properly. Okay, so that's the Atlas. So let's move on. I'll stop the share for a sec, and we'll go find the mouth of God. Okay, and then we'll share the screen again. Okay, so this is a little bit about the mouth of God. There's an energetic and spiritual aspect of the primary trinity alignment and the SRT neck release. The area stimulated at the base of the skull is referred to as the mouth of God, as well as the medulla oblongata of the brainstem. From the book, The Sacred Coming of Christ, The Resurrection of the Christ Within, Paramahansa Yogananda, published by the Self-Realization Fellowship. The medulla oblongata at the base of the spine is the seat of life, formed from the seed cell, the original nuclei, entered by the soul at the time of conception. Like radio waves, which are unseen but can be drawn out of the ether by receiving apparatus, vibrating life energy from the omnipresent cosmic source is continuously received through the subtle astral center of the medulla, is stored in the dynamo of the astral power in the brain, whence it flows out through the medulla. It proceedeth out of the mouth of God and is distributed throughout the cells of the body. through the vagus nerve. The medulla, the principal entrance of the body's supply of universal life energy, Om, is directly connected by polarity with the Christ consciousness center, and in the single eye between the eyebrows, the seat of the man's power of will. This is from Yogananda's book, The Autobiography of a Yoga. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend that book. And it goes on to say from the Bible in Matthew 6, verses 22, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Okay, so this is when the upper glands, the pituitary, the thymus, and the pineal gland are all aligned in a sacred trinity. It allows the vagus nerve to be fully activated to run all of the energies down through to the different organs in the body. So the structure of the base of the brain, the top of the spinal cord, is the principal point of entry of life force prana into the body, is the seat of the sixth cerebral spinal center, whose function is to receive and direct the incoming flow of cosmic energy. The life force is stored in the seventh center and the topmost part of the brain, which is your crown chakra. From the reservoir, it is distributed through the body. The subtle center of the medulla is the main switch that controls the entrance, storage, and distribution of the life force. Jesus quoted it in the Old Testament, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God." Okay? So it's also from an energetic point of view where your energy is trapped. Another place that they've called it is Golgotha, or the place where Christ was crucified. And that is that this mouth of God, and we are all, we're all gods in potentia. But Christ being the Son of God, or one with Christ, one with Christ's consciousness and connected to God, when he is crucified, that trauma, got locked into the mouth of God. So there is a fear from past incarnations about when we became fully activated in our spiritual essence. We let the prana flow through our body, and we activated our kundalini, that at many times in past lives we either been drawn, quartered, hung on a cross, boiled. All sorts of things have been done to us. So all that trauma has been locked into this area called the mouth of God. And so that's where a lot of trauma from this and past lives resides. So when we come into our spiritual essence of who we are, when we begin to know that we are truly God's in potential and we start to activate this, we have to clear that center of all the trauma of all the past lives when this was not safe to open up our clairs and be truly who we are as divine human beings. So that's a bit of background on why this area is so important. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm just going to open it for questions. So if there's any questions at this point before we move on and start to do some clearing of this center. Let's see if we can do unmute everybody. So Eduardo, you're unmuted. Eva, you're unmuted. And Jeff, you're unmuted. And Laura, you've always been unmuted. So any questions?
I'm curious about the Atlas Moan. I've never heard of it. Does it sit right above C1?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's my understanding. I'm not a doctor and everything, but yeah, look it up, Google it. But yeah, the Atlas is really on which the skull supports, right? So it may be actually C1. I'm not sure whether it's the same word for C1 or not.
Thank you for introducing that.
Okay, great question. Anybody else? Jeff, any questions or any clarification you'd like?
I guess the only thing I would have is I have been feeling some stiffness in my neck. Do you think that is probably why the vagus nerve is not functioning fully for me?
Yeah, let's ask. That's a great question. So let's just ask that, Jeff. So I'm just going to use my pendulum. So is the answer to that question yes? So how much of that effect So I'm going to ask whether that tension in your neck is causing pressure on the nerve, and the answer is yes. It's about a 20%. So yes. So whatever you can do to release your shoulders. Do you know what your stress is from?
No, I don't.
If you did know, what would it be?
Well, I didn't really start experiencing this until I had a psychic attack many years ago.
All right, well, that'll do it. I mean, a psychic attack, you will, for most people, you'll feel it in the back of your head.
Yeah, that was where a lot of it was going on out there.
All right, so I would say we still got trauma in there, so we'll take out that trauma. So see, you already did know, so so that's great. So when I asked you if you did know, you were able to find the answer. So ask yourself that question whenever you think you don't know. If I did know the answer, what would it be? And that tricks your mind to get out of the way so your guidance can come through. All right, so Eva.
I have upper neck issues as well, and I thought it was from using the computer and all of that. But after listening to you, I suppose it would be good to ask if there are any other issues.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you doing to make sure that you sit up straight at the computer? I mean, are you, like, for example, I just got a special pad I just bought last week, which makes sure there's an arch in my back. And if I can't feel that arch, I know I'm tending to, slouch forward to see the screen. And that's going to affect my nervous system and jam up my vagus nerve, right? And
Right,
my
right.
spine out. So whatever you can do to teach yourself to sit up straight in your chair, and also to make sure that the screen is at eye level, right? So you're not looking up and you're not looking down. You're looking directly. So your line of sight is in the center of your screen, and you can bring you can get a stand for your screen to bring it to the right level. Also, and I have to say, this is something I'm not very good at, but you need to also have a timer, or, I sort of tease myself and say, all right, step away from the desk, put your hands up in the air, step back, right?
Right.
Like you're going to be arrested if you're going to be in that chair any longer. But ideally every 15 minutes, and I can tell you that I don't do this. I know I should be doing this, and I'm working on it. I probably do it every hour or sometimes 2 hours. Get up, just walk around the living room, or go out and hug a tree, or especially if you can go out on the deck or go outside and take a couple breaths of fresh air. Whatever it is, you got to get up. It will just change your life. I also have one of these desks that go up and down, and I have to tell you, I love it, but I don't use it. So, that's another thing. And also I have a jiggler downstairs which jiggles you, and that you should use that every once in a while. So again, it's another set of habits. It's like doing the deep clearing protocol. These are habits that you need to get familiar with yourself, and it just becomes second nature once you program yourself that this is as important as anything else in your life. So yeah, so not sitting up straight and being at your computer all day long is really going to give you a lot of stress, especially in your neck and in your back and in your shoulders. All right. How about you, Laura?
I'm sorry.
How about you? Any questions?
I don't. I'm very interested in knowing how to clear it.
Yeah, well, it's really, we're going to get at this a number of different ways. So does anybody here know theta healing?
I know
No.
of it, but I don't really know it.
All right.
I'm unfamiliar.
You are familiar?
I'm not familiar.
No, you're not familiar.
Yeah,
All right.
I've heard of it.
All right. So I'm going to do I am a practitioner in theta, and I'm going to see if I can remember how to do this. So bear with me. So we're going to use a theta technique for this, okay? So this is one of many techniques. The reason I'm going to do a whole bunch of different techniques is some may one or more of them may work effectively for you. Okay.
Mhm.
So in theta, what we want to do is we want to go to that still point inside of ourselves where we say feel safe and secure. And one of the best ways to do that is take a deep breath. Oh, and sigh on the exhale. And take another deep breath. And sigh on the exhale. And one more. And I'll say, I'm connected to heaven and grounded to earth. And say it 3 times and say it out loud. I'm connected to heaven and grounded to earth.
I'm connected to heaven and grounded on earth.
And one more. I'm connected to heaven and grounded to earth.
And grounded to earth.
Okay, so now you're like an antenna between the cosmos and the infinite all and grounded to the earth. So now you're like a pillar of light. Okay, now from this, I just want you to now imagine in this place of comfort to reach up. And I want you to come out through your crown chakras. Imagine that you're now traveling in your astral body and you're moving out beyond the earth, and you're now looking back and you can see the earth fading in the distance, and now you're beyond the moon, and you're now going through the solar system, and you're out through past Mars and Venus, and we're making a rapid course out there, out past Jupiter, we're into the galaxy, and we're headed for the central sun, and we're going to go to the God consciousness, right? The source of all that is, okay? And you're going to go through a whole belt of stars and galaxies, and imagine yourself coming out, and there's bright purple, violet light, and you're in there, and there's just peace and calm and solitude. And just allow yourself to dwell there. There's no more traveling. You're there. It's just full of light. All this beautiful violet light is now starting to become crystal clear light that embodies everything and everything. And I want you to connect to source consciousness and say, I command you to teach me
I command you to teach me
what it feels like
what it feels like
to have my vagus nerve
to have my vagus nerve
completely aligned
with
God consciousness.
to God consciousness.
So all the prana flowing from source
So all the product flowing from source
flows through me unobstructed.
falls through me unobstructed.
And I declare it so
And I declare it
so
in my holy name.
in thy holy name.
holy name.
So be it.
So be it.
So be it.
It is done.
It is
So
done.
be it done.
Now I want you to come back down through, back out, let the white light fade, come back through all the stars, back through the universe, back through all the planets, past the moon, back into the earth, and slowly back into your chair. And before you open your eyes, I want you to see if you can feel in your body that you have this knowingness of how to do this. So you should just get a clear yes or no. So if I ask you, do you know how to make sure that your vagus nerve is fully activated? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Good.
Yes.
All right. Okay, now open your eyes and welcome back. So that's going to the God consciousness saying, hey, we are one and let's make this happen. And then experiencing it at that level and asking for it, and then coming back to your body and asking that it be confirmed at the body level. So now there's more smoother and more graceful theta ways to do that. I apologize if that isn't the smoothest possible way of doing it. If you're a theta practitioner, look it up in the theta instruction book. But basically that's the whole process, okay? So another way to do that is we're going to do the deep clearing protocol. If you don't know the deep clearing protocol, then I really highly encourage you to do that. It's a way to clear your bioenergy field of anything and everything that no longer serves you. It's a 20-day protocol. You do it every single day for about half an hour, 45 minutes every day. And we ask you to do 21 days straight. Miss a day, please start all over. It's not, the whole idea is to have your conscious mind instruct your subconscious mind to run this program 24/7, 365. So it's on automatic pilot. I mean, you don't have to think how you breathe, or you don't have to think how to beat your heart. So we don't want you to have to think how to clear. We want you just to be able to say clear, and you clear right from the top right to the bottom. And that includes your nervous system and the vagus nerve as well. So if you don't know anything about the deep clearing protocol, then please send us a message, so I'll ask you at the end whether you'd like to have the connection to this or not, and we'll send it on to you. Okay, so we're going to go to what's called the short deep clearing protocol, and that's what you do after 21 days. So the deep clearing protocol is sort of like using a shotgun on a bullseye, and you're going to clear or shoot out all of that no longer serves you. So you just shoot the shotgun and the buckshot just splatters the whole bullseye. The difference with the short clearing is it's like putting a scope on a rifle and zeroing in what it is that we really want to clear. So what we really want to clear now is the vagus nerve, right? So it would go like this. So if you have a pendulum, you're going to be spinning the pendulum counterclockwise. If you don't have a pendulum, use your finger. Just rotate your index finger counterclockwise. And here we go. So I, Tyson Bannigan, in my I Am presence, on behalf of everybody on this call or listening to this call now in the future, with the assistance of Divine Mother, Divine Father, and the source of all that is, undertake a clearing of the vagus nerve of all non-beneficial energies from any and all sources known or unknown, including but not limited to core fractures, toxic emotions, unresolved conflict that may originate from this lifetime, past lifetimes, or future lifetimes. And I clear any and all bleed through that may come through a family of origin, star family, and soul family, matriarchal or patriarchal lineages. And I undertake this clearing in my I Am presence, and I declare it so, so be it, it is done. And if you're rotating your pendulum, let it rotate until the clearing is done. So in other words, stop rotating it, and the pendulum will come to rest on its own. When it comes to rest, it's indicating that the clearing has completed. And for me, it's still rotating, so it's still doing its thing. Still quite a bit of action. Still a lot of action. More action. Okay, it's starting to slow down now. Okay, it's just about at rest. And now I just check in on a scale of 0 to 100 for everybody, and everybody should be clear. So the question in my mind, and there's no right or wrong answer, did anybody feel anything?
I always do, but I do it every day. So
What did you feel?
me,
Yeah.
lifting, energetic lifting. I can't explain it.
Well, so just give them an idea. When you say lifting, what does that mean?
I feel lighter,
Yeah, okay.
clear. My mind feels able to process quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did anybody else feel any lightness or any release?
Yes.
Okay, what did you feel?
This is Eduardo. I
Yeah.
felt something in my face, almost like a elongation, like a pulling, like at the cheeks.
All right, well, that's where one of the nerves comes in. So maybe there was tightness in your cheeks that you were holding. So maybe that got released. So yeah,
Mhm.
there are nerves of the vagus going to your cheeks. Absolutely. So great. Anybody else? Eva, did you feel anything?
I didn't feel anything as you were doing it, but now I feel like I'm more in my body.
Oh, good. Great. Because are you empathic?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the most important thing for you, do you know about the deep clearing protocol?
You know, I think I looked at it once a long time ago. It sounds familiar,
Yeah.
but I have not been doing it. I do
Okay.
other things.
All right, but I'd love for you to do it because let me just check for you. So generally, on a day-to-day basis, you're only 50% in your body. So how would you like to have twice as much energy to get you through the day?
Yeah, and I ground myself every day. Today I didn't ground myself, but
Right.
uh,
Okay, let's see what, that's great. Let me just check. So if you had grounded yourself today, where would you be? I'm getting shiver. You would be 75%.
That's what I got, 75, yeah.
Yeah. So how would you like to have 1/4 more energy then?
I
So I
would.
want you to still ground, but I would love for you to do the deep clearing.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, good. So, and as an empath, I'm getting more shivers up my spine. It's going to help you just have boundaries around your clairs, so the clairs can be used for you and your clients, but you're not on 24/7, 365 alert to everything around you. You're not in hypervigilant state, which really stresses out your vagus nerves and puts you in
Okay.
your fight and flight. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting that this would be good for me too.
Yeah, absolutely, it would be good for you. So, use this little protocol. I will write it up and I'll put it in a course. So when all of you sign back in, all of this recording will be there, and also the clearing will be written out so that you can use it. Okay, so
Great.
that's the second one. And who did we miss? Did everybody chime in? Jeff, did you say something? I think you did, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I
you
did
were
feel some
hiding.
adjustments in my neck there.
Okay, how's your neck feel?
It's still a little stiff, but it's still adjusting actually.
Okay, great. Well, we'll come back and see you. Let's have the intention that at the end of this call, it's all relaxed, okay?
Okay.
Laura?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Jeff? Yeah, Jeff, can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Like right here on your cheek, right by your jawbone, if you can just take it and do a little bit of this for me.
Okay.
And then move your jaw around. Do you clench at night?
Apparently so, because I did keep some tension there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you were to work that a little bit and just relax that out, I really think that will help your vagus nerve.
Yeah, I also want you to do first thing in the morning, and you can do this now. I want you to do a neck roll, and I want you to do at least 3 times. And I want you to be real gentle. Like, this is not a rush thing. I want you to literally almost go, like really, really slow. I don't know if you can watch me, but I'm not rushing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling every bit of that rotation, and I'm finding any tightness. And if there is, I just roll back and forth over that tightness, and I loosen it up until I can go all the way around, and there's nothing sticking anywhere. And I do that actually in the morning I do it 21 times, but you could do it 3 or 7. I like to do 21. And then to go back and do the other way. This is really, really good. The other one that I really highly recommend is spinning. This is part of the 5 Tibetan rites. And you can Google the 5 Tibetan rites. And this is that you're spinning with your arms out parallel to your body. You're spinning counterclockwise. You spin 21 times. It's good to do it on the edge of a rug so that you can count every time you go past the edge of the rug. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you come out of the 21st spin, you put your fingers in front of you like this, and you focus at your 2 fingers, and you'll stop spinning. So you'll have immediately become balanced and not fall over, okay? So what that does is it realigns all your chakras. And it's part of the other 5 exercises, which is an anti-aging. I highly recommend it. You can do it anywhere, anytime when you're traveling, but at least do the first one, and that will align your chakras. That will get everything aligned in your spine as well, and help that whole flow of all your sympathetic nervous system, and will calm it down. and have your adrenals and all the rest flowing properly. You're going to say something, Laura?
I was. Now I forget what I was going to say. Oh, I know. Did we do the install?
Yeah, okay, you can do that. Okay, what do you want to install?
You can do the install. I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't put me on the spot.
All right, so what Laura is saying, that every time you clear, equally as important is to install what it is that you do want. So I've been working with what's called the I am presence. And when every time you say I am, it means you're one with source or God or all of is or divine mother or however you want to relate to that aspect, right? And so when you say I am, it means that you're one with source. You're in your divine flow. And so when you say that, heaven and earth will then abide by whatever that it is that you're commanding or asking. So we went into your I am presence when we talked to God and said, we command you, God, or we ask you, God, to install us with this or that. So we can make that command or we can make that intention when we're one with source. So when you say I am in my I am presence, it means into consciousness, whether I'm one with source, I ask the following. So spinning your pendulum clockwise, I would say, I, Tyson Bannigan, in my I am present with the assistance of Divine Mother, Divine Father, and the source of all that is, or you can say Creator, I install the ability to regulate all my hormones and my vagus nerves so that it functions at 100%, that keeps me healthy, holy, and happy. And that this is something that my subconscious, I instruct my subconscious to run this. And that I be warned through whatever means, like you could say, I don't know how you want to be warned, but you could ask to be warned when this needs to be corrected. Or you could say every time I yawn, I correct the flow of energy through my body. Because for me, I don't know about you, but when I yawn, I know that I'm readjusting everything. So every time I yawn, which is just bringing on a yawn now, oh my goodness, that's good. I feel everything aligning. So my spine and everything. So every time I align, I'm freeing my vagus nerve. How about that? And then you say, I declare it so in my holy name. So be it, it is done. Thank you. Wow, I like the yawning. Now I'm going to want to yawn all afternoon. All right, so we're going to do one more. So we're going to do somebody we've just been studying in a Master Dowsing and Energy Healing certification course, and he is a really amazing healer. His name is Harold McCoy. This is his book, and he's now on the other side. And Laura was just sent me an email saying that she was meditating with him. He's passed on, but we have some recordings or videos from his workshops. He was asking you to meditate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in here, and I highly recommend his work. He spends a lot of time in the brain, and he's developed a lot of techniques. So we're going to use some of his techniques. So I want you to go close your eyes, and I want you to go back to that still point inside of yourself where everything's whole, sound, and complete. And if that's your special place in nature, I want you to go there now. And when you're dwelling there, I'm just going to simultaneously unzip the back of your skulls. Don't be worried about this. This is nothing that's going to hurt. But just imagine that you can do this to yourself. So just imagine that there's a zipper at the back of your skull. Let's pretend that it's at the zip starts at your right ear and it goes down past across where the vagus nerve is and the atlas, and comes across and then zips back up to the left ear. Okay, so let's say there's 5 zippers because we want to go right deep in there. So unzip the first one. Okay, the second one, I'll unzip that. And now unzip the third one, and the fourth one, and now the fifth one. So now we're right inside the brain. So I'll take a look at the vagus nerve and take a look at the atlas and look at what's happening around there. And I just want you to know that you're going to be instructed to do everything that you need to do to clean it all out. So let's, what he really likes to do is he likes to really do the both hemispheres first. So let's just do another zipper right up the center line of your brain, and let's unzip that so we can fold the whole brain back open. That's it. So let's unzip that. So okay, now we've got the whole brain exposed. Now we want to bring down the nozzle. It's just about you, and it's got white liquid in it, right? White light, pure white light. And I just want you to then, it's like a liquid, okay? So I just want you to start hosing down the left side of your brain. Just flush it off. Just know that all that liquid, you're like in a car wash. We're just washing your brain. It's just removing anything that no longer serves you and flushing it out. I want you to also to do now the right side of the brain. That's it. Now I want you to come down the brainstem and clean up the vagus nerve. And while you're at it, you might as well go right all the way down the top part of your spine, and you might as well do your shoulders as well. Okay, so now you have that whole hose down. We're just going to bring in a blow dryer, and we're going to blow it all dry. Okay, there should be like dust or residual stuff around, so I want you to bring in the vacuum cleaner and vacuum all that up. That's good. Do the left side, and now over right side, and then down through the upper neck, and clean all that up, down through the neck and the right shoulder, left shoulder, get that all that stuff vacuumed up. And now we want to finish off this treatment. We want to use the blue rain of concentrated divine love, okay? And this is a pure blue, like crystal light energy, and we're just going to shine that in. It's like a light. So just shine it on the left side of your brain here. This is just shining it with this beautiful, beautiful divine healing light, okay? The blue light of divine love. Okay, and now do the right side of the brain. Okay, and now do the brain stem. Okay, and now do your left shoulder, and now do your right shoulder. Okay, and now it's just radiating with the blue rain of divine love. Okay, so now we're done. So now we can re-zip back up around the top of the skull, and then take the zipper from the left side of the ear and zip it across up to the right. Zipper 1, zipper 2, zipper 3, zipper 4, and zipper 5. And we got some music that came in to help us close that off. And so take your time, and when you're back, open your eyes and welcome back. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but that sure felt good.
It's the second time I've done Harold's stuff on my brain today. I'm gonna have a clear brain.
Yeah. So did anybody notice anything?
I just had a clearing, like I felt light. I got a lot of gunk out, and I saw it just cleaned.
Yeah, it feels clean, doesn't it?
Yes, thank you.
I can never remember the name of it when I'm doing it, so I'll just say it right now so we can get it right. So the blue rain, a concentrated divine love, okay? That's what we were doing, the last one. All right, how about anybody else? Anything that you noticed?
I think they're all in heaven.
They're all in La La Land.
Mhm.
All right, so that was 3 primary techniques to clean your vagus nerve. We gave you some ideas about how to do that. Every time I yawn, I clear my vagus nerve, which is a shortcut, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can muscle test, do body sway, or dowse to see if it's operating. And you know whether it's operating or not. If there's any bit of tension, why not clear the vagus nerve, knowing that it's the major central gateway to all your hormones. So don't forget to do your neck exercises and roll them. Loosen your jaw will help. Don't forget to shrug your shoulders every once in a while. Move away from your desk. Don't sit for long periods of time. Go hug a tree, walk in nature. Those are all sorts of techniques that can help you. If you don't know or haven't heard about the deep clearing protocol, please let us know. I will send everybody on this call a notice about it. Actually, come back in. We'll give you the link when you come back in, and this video will be produced and available when you sign back into the course. And yeah, so is there any, as we begin to wind up, is there any questions, comments, feedback?
Neck feels good.
Nick?
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Eduardo. I'm just wondering, can we do we did the before, how the vagus nerve was, at what percentage was operating. Can we do an after?
Absolutely. But I already know the answer. What's the answer?
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah, yeah. But doesn't it feel good? It's nice to put a feeling to what does 100% feel like. And so why don't we install this as your normal? So it would go like this. So let's wind it up like this. So I, Tyson Bannigan, I am President of the Assistant Divine Mother, Divine Father, and the source of all that is. Install this feeling. I've been connected to source with a clear vagus nerve and with all my hormones balanced and my body in alignment, that this be my natural state of being 24/7, 365, except when I'm asleep, because I need to sleep. And that I asked and declare that it be so. I declare it so, and thank you. From more to be. So wouldn't it be nice just to have this as your normal?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. If there's any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll call it a wrap.
Great.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Have a good day for me.
All right. Everybody good?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So one more announcement. Don't forget, yours truly and that lovely lady you're looking at, Laura, will be on the Wellness Show at 6 p.m. at the top of the hour Pacific. At what time Central?
8 p.m.
And so that would be 9 Eastern Standard Time. So join us for the Wellness Show. Come and get your dowsing energy healing questions answered. Tell us what's up in your life and we'll get you straightened out. Or what you can ask about what's up in planet Earth. Going through lots of changes and transformation right now. So join us every Thursday, same time. Just to let you know, we are going to TV land. We're just closing the deal now. And we're in discussions with 2 different TV stations. So there you are. So bye for now. Thanks for showing up. Don't forget, you can come back in, sign into the course, and the video will be there. And you can also ask questions in the group as well. So until next workshop, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.